This podcast contains an English accent that most of our Irish listeners will find offensive. Also, there may be some colourful language that you're going to find less offensive. Now, over to Ryan and Leon. Enjoy the podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Poetry Step podcast live at the lab. Really excited to be here. And now, I want to do something before we start. Do you mind everyone standing up for me? Do you want to mind? Because we, nights like this, we've both been performing on the scene for a couple of years, but having an event at Culture Night and having people come and see us, and we brought our most favourite people here to do some performances for you. We really appreciate it. So we just wanted to give you all a round of applause and for you to all give each other an applause. So thanks very much for coming.
A very dignified clap there, that was. You can all sit down now, thank you very much. Just make a stand for the whole performance.
So, wow, we've got some special performances. We've brought in just our favourite people, our favourite wordsmiths really. We've got comedy, we've got poetry, we've got storytelling, we've got a bit of music as well.
And plenty of shy talk.
And plenty of nonsense. If you've been to an event like this before, you'll know that usually at the start of the Poetry Night, there's something called a sacrificial lamb poem. So it's like a poem that's kind of thrown into the ether to kind of disappear. So me and Liam, we'll play a game of rock, paper, scissors to decide on which one of us is going to give that sacrificial lamb poem.
Is it the best out of three or just one?
Best out of three.
Okay.
On three, after three.
Go closer.
On three, after three.
Rock, paper,
scissors. On three?
Yeah. She says...
On three.
Okay, hang on, you go closer. Go.
1, 2, 3.
Hang on.
1, 2, 3.
Easy peasy. Right, Leon Dunne.
Me?
I won! So I won, so you have to...
I thought you won the poem. You get the poem.
No, it's... No.
Okay, that's great. This is alright then. Right, okay, so I have a lovely poetry notebook with all these lovely poems in it, and I forgot it from the hustle and bustle of things. So what I'm going to do is, we have a book, the lovely book that's down the back of the room. I'm going to shamelessly plug this book. It's got 30 different poets in it. Me and Ryan made it there last Christmas. It was a Christmas anthology. And I'm going to put my phone inside it and pretend I'm reading from the book. Alright? So, a bit of stage magic here, 1 second. Pay no attention to the man without no curtain to stand behind. Hang on. Okay, now, read there. Ah, yes, this book that we have. Lovely stuff. So, this is a poem that I wrote a while ago. It's a list poem, not to be confused with a list poem. It goes, so a list poem basically, it's like a shopping list. Every line starts the same. So this is a love poem. Be nice and gentle, start with a nice little love poem. So this is simply called Love Is. Love is blind. Love is cruel, love is harsh, love is kind. Love is a hug from your man, sharing a shite joke with your dad. Love is a Sunday roast at your nanny's house. Love is a few pints in the local, spontaneous laughs, having a crack and not being afraid to get a bit vocal. Love is a pint of water and a sauce beside your bed just in case. Love is hungover chicken fillet rolls and a bottle of Lucozade Sport. Love is those with you for the memories, growing up and learning from each other's mistakes. Love is heartbreak. Love is a shoulder to cry on, you'll be alright, dust yourself off, tomorrow's another day. Love is sitting out in a field of friends on a hot summer's day. Let me just turn my page. Love is a festival of colours. A symphony of music, love is like no other. Love is that favourite pet if you could possibly choose. Love is that one song that takes away your cares and your blues. Love is Dancing the Maniac 2000. Love is the sound of birds singing. Love is that first date and wedding bells ringing. Love is that first and last kiss. Love is that one mate who constantly takes the piss. Love is eating 99s, the beach. It's the sand in your hair between the toes of your feet. Love is summer holidays. Love is when you feel you couldn't live without them for more than a few days. 'Cause love is a freshly brewed cup of tea. For love is a mood between you and me. Thank you very much.
Don't you be looking at me like that. You said that like, between you and me, you're almost making me fucking cry. Genie, Mac. We asked, we've been watching everybody write their bad poetry. So has anyone got a poem that they haven't given us yet? Put your hand up. Don't be shy, don't be shy. We won't make you come up, don't worry, but put your hand up. Because I'm going to come through and just pick them off you. Alright, so I'm just going to grab them off you when I come back through. Are you ready for our first performer?
Are you ready for our first performer?
I've been following the journey of this person for a couple of years now, and she's an inspiration to me. I think she's inspiring in loads of different ways. She's one of these people that has been trying in plain sight, and it's just great to see her journey. And actually, we're lucky to have her because tomorrow she's got her debut show at the Ambassador Theatre tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Aoife Dunne.
John's hands are firmly on the steering wheel, but my eyes are fixed on the windscreen wipers and the way they're moving the wet leaves back and forth. I'm kind of mesmerised by the way they dance, with the yellow, the red, the leaves back and forth dancing with the wind. John tries to find my knee. I know what act of love this is for him to remove a hand from the steering wheel, but I push his hand off. He doesn't fucking know. I keep watching these leaves. God, the rain is fucking beautiful sometimes, isn't it? In Ireland, in Gaeilge, we've about 130 words to describe the rain. I always say to people, I think Irish people talk about the rain so much because we've nothing left to say. But sometimes I think we talk about the rain so much because we've so much to say and we've no idea how to fucking say it. So I'm watching the rain and John fumbles again for my knee. He's fucking terrified to drive with one hand on that steering wheel. But I push his hand off again and instead I try to find that letter. It's in my back pocket. I pull it out and it's got all the makeup which I have at the bottom of my bag and it's all crumpled because I've been carrying this thing around for fucking weeks. My therapist told me, just put it all down. Everything you've felt about him, put it down. What, everything? Everything? Will I tell them about the time he caught my cat had pissed on my Barbies, and he picked up my cat and threw it out the window of our 2-story house, breaking its nose? Do I write that down? Do I write about the time when Mom died and he never came to help? I took care of his children and he never came back. Do I write about that? I can hear John fumble again and whisper something like, "It'll be okay, Aoife." He doesn't understand, you see. He told me recently he saw his parents under the orchard in their house. He said his mom was sitting on his father's lap and she gave him a kiss. John grew up in fucking Disneyland. He has no idea. As we start to pull in, John puts his finger on the intercom and I hear his voice on the other side. He buzzes us through this family kind of holiday home where he's managed to secure accommodation. I take a deep breath. The rain is getting heavier and heavier and bashing against the windscreen. And as we pull in, I take a breath and I try to inhale this scene and I'm hoping somehow it'll choke me to death, and there I see her. She's jumping and she's got these yellow wellies on. Her hair looks really fucking weird. And I roll my eyes because, you see, I know Dad is refusing to pay for a hairdresser. So he's probably cutting her hair himself. We get out of the car and she comes running over to me. She wraps her arms around me. And I stand back and I take a good look at her. She looks so like me. But when Dad called me 8 years ago to tell me that I had a new sister, I desperately didn't want her to exist. I hope she didn't look anything like me, but now I realise, Jesus, she looks kind of all me, too. She runs over to John and she says, "Aoife's my big sister." John whispers in and said, "Her haircut's so fucking weird. She looks like she's been to Berlin." I'm like, "John, I know." She takes my hand and says, "Come to Daddy's house." That word, Daddy. We get to the house and Dad's left the door open. He's busy fumbling in the kitchen over lunch, and he shouts over his shoulder, "Make yourselves at home," like we've done this 100 times. I look around the house and it's not my house, but it looks so strangely familiar. It's a mess. I see that he's got newspapers stacked high on the kitchen table. And if I look close enough, I can see half-written poetry, songs that he'll never show the world, songs that will torture him and keep him up late at night, songs that he promised will never be good enough, that will trap him forever. I see a guitar across the sofa. I see some wet clothes that have been probably sat there for days. I start to feel sorry for him, that he doesn't have a woman here to help him out. And we make our way to the table. I can hear Dad cursing. He only curses when he's nervous. This man, nervous? We sit down at the table and Dad comes over to serve his lunch. And as he's serving me lunch, I can see his hands shaking. He's nervous. My dad, this storm of a man, is nervous to see me. And he looks small now. He kind of looks a bit skinny. He's got grey hair, and has he dropped height? I used to be terrified of him. He felt like a thunder. And now here he looks small and weak, old and nervous. Behind him I see a picture of my granddad, my dad's dad. There's nothing else on the walls. I think it's so weird that Dad would choose to put a picture of his dad. He even went to the bother of framing it. I don't know what he was hoping for. Maybe he hoped that it would restore some kind of relationship that they never really had. I know my granddad was the best granddad in the world, as he self-proclaimed. But I also know he wasn't the best dad in the world. And now my dad wants a picture of his dad on the wall? All of a sudden, I can hear Lily let out a yelp. She's been rubbing her finger on the table and now she's got a splinter. She starts screaming so much. My dad gets up and he pushes a chair and he goes, "For fuck's sake!" I take that deep breath in again and I hear the rain pelting against the window. Dad starts saying, fuck's sake, and oh my God, this room is seconds from a fucking thunderstorm. He storms off and I'm about to run to Lily to protect Lily. He comes back, he grabs Lily, he takes her in his arms. And he's got a little case. This leather case that he had when he used to be a Boy Scout. I remember this case. He pulls Lily close, he opens the leather case, and he takes out one of these tweezers. And as she's fussing, he pulls her even closer. And he starts to gently try to pull out the splinter. And as I'm watching this, I see me there too, in his arms, my breath in his, as close as we could ever get. And I'm desperately hoping the splinter is a deep one this time, so that I get to sit there a little longer. And before I know it, I feel this ancient need in me, and before I have time to stop it, it creeps out of my mouth and I hear myself go, "Daddy." He looks up and he goes, "Did you say something, love?" And then I remember the letter in my back pocket. I go to take the letter out, I stand up and I go, "Dad!" But then I see his dad behind him, and his dad, and all the dads before them. The dads that couldn't say "I love you," the dads that couldn't be there, the dads that couldn't be dads but desperately wanted to be dads, and I see my dad now trying to be a dad. I put the letter in my back pocket and I say, "Dad, the rain is fucking shit today, isn't it?" And he looks back at me and says, "Ah, it is, love. It is." Thank you so much. I still have time. Okay, I'm gonna grab my phone. This one this got me in a lot of trouble. This is a Conor McGregor poem. He didn't write it, surprisingly. And yeah, this got me a bit of attention, but got me in trouble. And probably good to read this, considering the sad things that we have to put out. So many times put it out in his life. Right, okay. Irish is not his. It is not this. Fuck the kiss me, I'm Irish, the drinking, the drunk gestures. I'm tired of it. The paddywhackery that our oppressors tried to perpetuate about us because they feared our greatness. They tried to reduce us, to numb us. But you see, the thing about the Irish is we will always find a way to be free. I remember hearing the words yes for equality as we stood hand in hand outside Dublin Castle on the same cobblestones where our colonisers murdered those who fought for our freedom. The fighting Irish, eh? We aren't talking about McGregor and all the other gumbeans who are busy making money off the backs of broken men and women down the country. You say rural Ireland is ravaged, Conor. You're not wrong. But not by immigrants. No, by men exactly like you who are destitute of any scruples or morals, who would rather rape and beat and steal and cheat than fight for what really matters. Our changa, our ceol, our sport, our art and culture, the poetry, our ash trees, our water, our oceans, the people who need us, who came here to help us, who take care of our grannies and drive our taxis. And they don't scare me, no, but men like you do. Men who prey on communities grappling with intergenerational trauma and poverty that need unity, but you'd rather divide and conquer, just like our coloniser. When you've angered some lost boys enough, Conor, we know that you'll walk away because you don't care about what they have to say, about their pain or where they sleep at the end of the day. You're only out for yourself, a true gumbean, not a real Irishman. You see, Irish isn't a passport. It's not just a title given. Irish is an adjective. It describes a person who believes in freedom. It describes a feeling. It describes a person who believes in freedom, who lives close to the land, to music, to its people. It describes a feeling of warmth when you're wrapped around a fire together singing, despite the cold outside. Irish is everyone is welcome, because we know what it's like to be held from all that we hold dear. We know what it's like to be locked up on our own land. Irish is, don't worry, it'll be grand. Irish means intelligence. It's learned women and men who use their mind and their pen to right the wrongs of their oppressors. Irish is language. A heartbeat that nearly stopped were it not for a few who knew is far gael gabrisha na berla cliste. Irish is a fight, but not whatever shite Conor does in his little cage. I'm talking about what we fought for, how we bring the oppressors to their knees over and over. The British, the church, and now these imperialists. Take your shackles, colonisers. We have tasted freedom and we will never feast on anything less. It burns through our fists and our chests. So Conor, you're not one of us. You don't know what it means to be Irish. Irish is nothing of what you speak out about while you're off in your precious White House. The real Irish will still be here, fighting for everything we hold dear. Thanks so much.
Wow.
I angered a few boys with that one.
Aoife, that was amazing. Wow, give it one more time for Aoife, please. So tomorrow,
Yeah.
you've got the gig at the Ambassador, and then you're touring that around
Yeah.
Ireland.
Yes.
Tell us, it's called Good Grief.
Yeah.
Right. Tell us about what it is and the kind of event it is.
So it's comedy, even though it's about grief.
Yeah.
And I tried to do, because I like my graw is storytelling and like things like that and poetry, and then I kind of slipped into comedy and started doing stand-up. But then I thought about my first show. I wanted to be a mix of all my loves, like storytelling, poetry, and stand-up. And everyone was like, no, nobody will ever come to your show. It has to be straight jokes or no one's ever going to come. And so I started writing a show that was just straight stand-up. And every time I wrote it or went to perform it, I hated it. And the more I tried to make it something that I thought other people wanted and liked, the less I liked it.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then I was like, okay, I moved to Amsterdam, that's where I met Danny. And I turned down the noise and I went back to what I loved. and I took my time, and now it is a mix of spoken word and poetry and stand-up, and it's like an anthology of grieving.
Yeah, wow. So then a question for you, right? So like as you were kind of going through that journey of maybe doing things that were quite centered, right? So that were there moments where you kind of had to not grieve the end of things that you didn't want to do, but kind of like a sadness of like, I'm not just a funny person, or I'm not just a sad person, I'm not just, like there must have been different iterations of yourself as you kind of create art for you to go, fucking hell, what kind of, you know what I mean? It's a strange journey.
Yeah, and I think what I think the problem is when you're an artist is that it's other people that want to put you in a box, and it makes people uncomfortable when they can't label you as something, you know. And even when people ask me, what are you? I never know what to say. I really just say storyteller because I think it covers all bases. But I definitely, when I got into stand-up, I'm really grateful for stand-up. It gave me a platform because unfortunately, you know, poets, we don't pull in the same, let's be honest, the same audiences. Like,
Maybe better audiences,
yeah.
well, not the masses.
Not the masses. So I am grateful for stand-up for that. And I'm hoping to sort of like, maybe, you know, open their minds to other forms of art as well. I did it in Edinburgh, and there was these like three absolute lads came in, and they sat at the back, and I was like, they're gonna hate this. Like, I tell a poem to my mom when I'm doing ayahuasca at the end of the show, to my dead mom. Right? I don't think these boys have been ever close to anything like that sensitive in their lives. One got up after about 10 minutes. In the middle of when I talk about my mum's funeral, and he literally got up and he like had to move past everybody, and then the other two friends were like this, like in the back. So I was like, I just interrupted the show and I was like, lads, and they were like, well, us? I was like, yeah. I was like, you can go like your friend did, but if you're staying, you're gonna fucking enjoy it and you're gonna put your phone down. And then they were like, no, it's fine, like, we'll fucking stay. And I was like, all right. And then, so then I was thinking, like, the poem at the end, I only do one poem, but the poem at the end, I was like, I'd say this is the first time these men have heard a poem in their entire lives. And I was thinking, like, what must they think? And when they were leaving, they were, like, softened, and they were like, you know what? It wasn't that bad in the end. That was all right.
I know, right, fucking poetry.
Yeah, it's all right. Maybe I'll make a lot of poetry now. And I was like, hey, yeah.
But that's a huge win, and that happens to loads of us who do poems in pubs and places where like people do drift in and then stay. Like that is a moment where you're in a pub and two lads walk in and they're like, do you want to sit down, and then they come to you then and go like, I don't know, write fucking poetry, that was great. Yeah. That's what you do it for, I think. Those are the moments that probably you don't get in stand-up.
Yes.
Because everyone's there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, funny, like I've tried to do poetry as stand-up, and I think I learned quickly, like if you do a funny poem in a poetry room, it's great crack.
Yes.
If you do a poem in a comedy gig that's a funny poem, it's actually not funny.
Oh my god, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You know Phil Jupitus?
Yeah.
He was at the Galway Comedy Festival launch party last week, and he said he doesn't want to do any more stand-up. I think they were kind of hoping he was lying, and then he got in and he's like, no, I'm just doing poetry. And then he got up and just did poetry at a comedy festival. And I could just see everyone, and like they were funny, but about 5 of us thought it was funny. So just so you know, guys, Phil Jupitus died in a soul. Okay.
Aoife, thank you so much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, Aoife Dunne.
Thank you so much.
We're going to bring up someone else on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Cork poet Daragh Fleming.
What's the crack? I just got tickets for Aoife's show tomorrow night, so I'm fucking buzzing. This night's gonna be a huge success. Yeah, I got it. But I do resonate with when people ask you what you are and what to say. I usually just say I'm from Cork. And that helps. But no, really happy to be here. Yeah, I am. I'm happy to be here. No, thanks for having me, lads. It is a huge honour. And I suppose the last 2 years, most times I get on stage, I was just trying to acknowledge like it's a privilege to be able to do this. We're all going to go home after this, probably going to go for pints, we're going to go home, we're going to be safe. And there's people being genocided on the other side of the world, so and the UN has finally caught up and realised it is a genocide, so free fucking Palestine. I just want to say that before we get into it. And then we'll just get into it. This is called Original Lie. There was a time when I tried to forget. push it down. See, that's what we do around here. Knock it back like a pill and push on. The expectation was always clear, not ever made explicit, rather the implication. Big boys don't cry. I think I heard that the first time when I was 5, maybe younger. And so this concept of masculinity grew inside my tiny body like a hunger. We can only be a certain way. Anything outside the parameters of this expectation was deemed as gay, but really what was being said was the behaviour wasn't conducive with becoming men. So we had to hide these parts. Pretend that we didn't like poetry. Or we didn't have feelings for a girl in the park. This is how it starts. And how it continues. Not in any glaring way, but slowly, quietly, until we're reading the maps laid out for us by touch alone. And then we grew up. Grew beards and our own expectations. So distant from our emotions that we couldn't feel them anymore. Out there beyond the horizon of ourselves, pushed out by waves of what society expected us to be. And while it wasn't too late, by the time we realised what damage had been done, we found ourselves with a huge problem that wasn't of our own creation. Rather, the generations who came before and saw men as this one dimension. And so we had to conform to this shape, or risk being cast out of every aspect of life that seemed important as a child. And it's funny to think it all started by being told not to cry. Don't cry. Big boys don't cry. Men don't cry. A future of pain seeded by an original life. Sinead, thank you very much. There is a weird dichotomy with me because a lot of my poetry is like that, and I'm just a fucking dope most of the time. So if it feels like jarring that I go from that to being like, I'm from Cork, that's just who I am as a person. So this poem is called, very uncontroversially, it's called Not All Men. It's not all men, but it's enough to warrant the white knuckle makeshift duster intertwined between fingers. Because the man walking behind us has been walking behind the whole time, and her only protection is keys. It's not all men, but it's enough to send a live location from a taxi because your mother, sister, friend can't relax. See, there's been so many stories of the same thing. A man thinks he's entitled to a body that's not his. A lack of consent brings about violent swings. It's not all men, but it's plenty. What use is sharing a post if your intention is empty? Jump to the friend because it's not you or your friends, but if you're any man on the street, you're potentially a threat. You say it's not all men, but let me ask you this. When you get battered on the street, who's at the end of that fist? It's not all men. You're right, well done, we hear you. But it's always a man. Just makes you uncomfortable to hear it. Thank you. This is a new sweater vest. Do we like it?
We love it.
Yeah, cool. And me and Aoife accidentally matched, which is fantastic. Same colour. I'm going to do one more poem. This is a response I did to a poem by Lucas Jones called Dangerous Men. And I remember when I posted it on Instagram, I was really hungover, and I just done a gig where someone recorded it. And I was like, I need to post something today, so I posted this poem, and long story short, Channing Tatum follows me now. It's been a fucking wild few weeks. So this is called If I Ever Have Boys. If I ever have boys, they'll be dangerous men. They'll smile at dogs and children and be a tonic to friends. They'll send flowers to their mother just because, and they'll be a shoulder for many when the world is too much. My boys will know that vulnerability is strength. They won't bottle anger, they'll learn how to express. They won't let pride be the reason they hide wearing masks while they're hurting inside. No, my boys will be dangerous men. They won't stay silent even when it's uncomfortable for them. They'll know that their actions are more effective than words, but they'll use their voices to amplify the unheard. They'll know that love isn't something to perform, they'll see beauty in all of its forms. My boys won't go learning to emotionally hide, they'll reshape masculinity into something they like, make it softer to touch. They'll know that who they are is more than enough. They won't grow learning to carry the burden alone. They'll know an emotional man is a man fully grown. They won't settle everything with violent swings. They'll live in truth even when that truth stings. So yeah, if they ever have boys, they will be dangerous men. But the danger they'll be won't be the one society meant. Thank you very much.
Keep going, Daragh Fleming. Now, this is probably the most civilised conversation we'll ever have.
Yeah, we've had some reckless conversations.
Me and Daragh, like most people, we met online on the internet, and we were courting for a while. But we never met face to face, and had an pen pal friendship. And we met at a lecture picnic last year, and it was fireworks from there, I have to say. And we met again.
This EP, I just spent the entire weekend, because last year, right, Leon was like, we should hang out this weekend, and I was like, 100%. And then I disappeared for the whole weekend, and he was annoyed about it, fair enough. So this weekend I got down, and I was like, I'm not leaving your side for the whole weekend, and me, yourself, and Ryan spent the whole weekend together.
Yeah. He ghosted me the year before. We made up for it this year.
We did.
Yeah. And we talked for 4 days, and then we'll talk some more. But you've been writing for a while. You've done many things. You did give a TED talk at one point.
Yeah.
You gave a TED talk at one point. Which
yeah, life's weird,
very
man.
impressive.
Life is strange.
But like, when did it all start for you in terms of writing? Have you always written short stories or poetry?
I was definitely, like, as a child, I was a massive reader. So I remember when I was 9, my parents sat me down, and I thought I was in trouble, like, and they were like, you have to join a library because we can't afford to continue to buy this many books, which is gas. But and then, I wrote my first poem when I was 7, my first short story I was 11, and then I forgot about writing because I became a teenager, and I was like, girls exist, and that was the end of writing for a long time. And then I found my way back to college. When I was 20, I started, and I suppose the context is my best friend took his own life when I was 17, and that was had a massive impact on my life. And when I started writing when I was 20, it was all about mental health and trying to get people to talk about their mental health, and that's something I still do to this day. But that's when I found my way back to writing since childhood, and it's since then, so we're talking 10 years, I've just been writing constantly. It went from the blog to short stories to poetry, essays, now trying to figure out a novel, write music. It's all, whatever I can write, I'll do it.
Like a Swiss Army knife of writing.
I'm going to use that.
You're going to put that on your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah. LinkedIn.
Writers have LinkedIn. Some of them, not me, but some of them do.
I have LinkedIn, yeah.
There you go, see, point proven. And would you find that writing for you, because obviously you were a massive reader, as you said, as a kid, but does writing help? For me, just speaking from my own perspective, writing helps me understand the world. Would you say that would you write about what you, would it be external or internal mostly the focus, or would it be kind of a bit of both?
It's a bit of both, but it's interesting you say that, because when I started writing poetry specifically, it was because my therapist told me to start journaling. And I was like, I don't want to write pages. So I was writing little snippets of what I was feeling, and that became the beginning of my poetry. And it was very much to try and figure out how I was feeling, because when I was depressed, I had emotional anhedonia, which means I was emotionally numb. I didn't know what feelings I was feeling, or I couldn't feel anything. And writing poetry helped me to kind of label the emotions I was feeling and kind of stay with them. Even if it was like a bad emotion, like a negative emotion, I was like, this is better than feeling nothing. So like, you're feeling sad, let's stay with it. And the poetry helped me to do that.
So you're kind of tapping into your own emotions essentially. I find that as well myself. Like I, if I'm having a really strong feeling, no matter it is, I kind of get it to, I put it to paper rather than just kind of like hiding from that feeling or, you know, running away. It's just you lean into it, and as you said, you kind of understand the world. And like, would you write mostly like writing essays? You'd obviously have to sit down to write like at a laptop, I imagine. But would you write poetry? Like, how would you?
Yeah, because it is interesting, and like there's some poets I know, like literary poets, where their sole focus is writing poetry, and they write poetry the way I write prose. So they like set out time to write poetry, and I've never had that relationship with poetry. Because if I'm writing an essay, I'm writing an essay about this, I need to spend 2 hours getting through this. But poetry has always been more like intuitive and impulsive and in the moment, and it might be like, we're having a chat and we're talking and something like strikes a chord at me, and I'll like take a note on my phone and I'll be like, I need to write a poem about that at some point later. Whereas like the career poets, I call them, they do what like the opposite. They're like, we're just gonna sit down and write shit poetry until we find a good one. And I'm like, I'm just gonna write shit poetry when it comes up.
Luckily, that's our task tonight. I hope everyone's writing shit poetry now tonight. Now, plenty of shit poetry in the room now. We're up to our eyeballs in the jet. So, no, it's fabulous to see, and like obviously it opens up many doors for you. I'd say like opportunities.
Yeah, like I mean, there's been so much. Like the TED Talk came from, you know, like when you bring in social media to like writing and poetry, like all my opportunities have come from writing, but it's like where I put it. So like, I've had books published, which is fantastic, but like a lot of the opportunities where you could potentially make a career, make money, have come from like posting my poems on TikTok and Instagram, and then people are like, will you do a poem for our brand or do something like this? And like, that's obviously not the end all and be all, but it allows you to pay the bills to continue to actually work on the novel or work on the collection of poetry. So my thing is just like throw as much shit as the wall as you can and see what sticks, and that has worked.
It's a dirty wall.
Oh, it's a disgusting wall.
Dirty wall. Bit of dead all there. Yeah, and like, would you say that using social media would be do you think there's any poets out there that exist in the woods in a shed writing page poetry and not sharing with anyone? Do you think you need to have social media now to kind of get your work out there?
You definitely don't need it, because I know a lot of poets who are brilliant who are like shockingly bad at social media. So like, you definitely don't need social media. I think it's another avenue to get to where you want to go. But like, yeah, you definitely don't need it. But I think it can be a useful tool, and it just kind of democratizes poetry a little bit, because like, literary poetry unfortunately is still quite elitist, and there's a lot of gatekeepers, and it's like you're only published if someone else says yes. Whereas like, if like for example, you're Lucas Jones, you're Don Ashworth, there's 100 poems you could name that like have books published by Faber or HarperCollins because they started posting on Instagram, got a massive following, and then the publisher was like, can we do a book? Whereas if you do the inverse of that, it's like you're beholden to like someone saying yes or no.
Like I remember we went to see Donna Ashworth last year. I think Donna started writing during COVID, I think, around that time. And then they were like, yeah, she's written 9 books. And you're like, what? Like, it's like 3 years. Like, how did you write so many bloody books? But she's certainly been busy, you know. But the social media element, like, I think, do you think kind of levels the playing field in the sense that you can put anything out there and it can be received by anyone?
Yeah, like you'll find out like it's a kind of, it's probably the fairest way to like deal with poetry, because like if you submit a manuscript to a publisher, you're beholden to one person's specific taste, whereas like you find out soon enough of your poems like very popular or not very popular on be posted online, because like it'll find its audience, and if it finds its audience, then like, okay, that poem is good.
Yeah, it's like an instant kind of feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Daragh, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. As the most civilised chat we'll ever have in existence.
Yeah,
we're here to see it, so.
Yeah, like after 3am and EP, like we can't record those chats.
I think we weren't even saying words, we were just growling at each other for a couple of hours. But thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure, man. Thank you very much.
Daragh Fleming, everyone.
Ryan Duggins to the stage, please, Ryan Duggins. Ryan, I think you should give us a palm.
I'll give you one, will I?
He's been itching to do a palm on me. He's got his poetry.
Probably a
chat.
little bit unfair if I come up here and don't do one, isn't it? Thank you. Oh, I do a palm.
Do a palm.
There's a lot of people in the room that I've not met before, so hello, hi everyone, thanks for coming. When I first meet people in these kind of rooms, I like to do the polite thing and make a formal introduction. So I have a poem that is my formal introduction to anyone that wants to listen to my work, and it's a love letter to where I'm from, really deep down. And it's called No, I've Never Been Skiing. A slice of toast or a KFC. Who knew the crack? Well, they definitely didn't. The day before payday. 52 rolls of the dice a year. A pie in the sky or a kebab in your dreams. Sitting in my bedroom hoping how they got on. The week that was. Now the corner shop took a check. An IOU for a pack of Marlboro Blue. Knock on the door. Bloke in a suit. Name was Provident. Always thought that was an odd name for a fella. And why did the telly need £1 to watch news round? I didn't ask. But I wasn't innocent. Hid crisps in my room on shopping day and ordered expensive clothes from the catalogue. Lacoste trainers, Lecoq Sportive joggers and a Kangol shirt that fit crisp after bath day. Sat around a gas fire, a knife for a slice, toasting one side and then the other, and stuffing our faces with bread and best butter, singing and dancing on a carpenter's floor. 5, 6, 7, 8, the Macarena, with Top of the Pops in the background. That was my life of love and support and dirty clothes to school and getting teased for having a shit gaff. No wonder I've got a sense of humour. So to answer your question, pal, I'm sure après ski is brill, but I've never been fucking skiing. And I never fucking will. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'd like... I don't know about you lot, but I'm in the mood for a bit of music. So I would love to be able to say, someone that I'm new to, actually, Leon got me onto it, and what a talent. Please welcome to the stage, if she's ready, all about Eve. All things Eve. Eve, hello. You don't have a stand for you, you're going to be alright.
Okay, I'm just going to do it unplugged, so you're going to have to do this with your ears.
Shall we move a bit, can we move it closer? Should we put the chairs a bit closer? Put the mic, and then I'll get out your way.
You're actually fine. Today, okay, sorry. How are you doing? My name's Eve, all things Eve. I don't know why people get that wrong all the time. Looking at you, Ryan. There's another poetry host actually who gets it wrong all the time. Dave gets it wrong all the time. Yeah, my name is Eve. I'm originally from Germany, and I'm a singer-songwriter, and I moved over here 3 years ago. Because I love Ireland, and I love its people, and I love the art that is made here. Yeah, and I write songs about my feelings. Yeah, I don't know why I'm still yapping. I'm supposed to be making music here. So, this first song, I need to tune up, I think, is called, I actually didn't write a set list. Maybe it's called Time. And I wrote this song about being scared of being old and lonely and not getting through to lovers on Tinder anymore because of my looks. And I will be old and saggy. That's my fear. Anyways, it's called Time. There's lies in the seams of his. He hates them quite well, but she knows It's just another order of handed down that is so. So she keeps on the fire, keeps the fire intact till on a Sunday in April she finds his things packed in a baggie quite neatly, but she's never done. Is it her or himself he keeps running from? It's a stab to her heart with a knife in his hand. It's the poem of life and the shadows it brings. Once he asked her so sweetly, will you be mine? He swore he would love her to the end of time. Time, time, time flows away. Time, time, don't ask me to stay. Time, time, don't you give yourself away. Time, now Margot's a widow, her husband's alive. She wonders if he too is lonely at night. The last time she seen him was 1 year in spring. Now she knows better, doesn't know what to begin. It comes with me. Time, time, time flows away. Time, time, don't ask me to stay. Time, time, don't you give yourself away. Time, time, let the pain flow away. Time, time, time flows away. Time, time, don't ask me to stay. Time, don't you give yourself away. Time. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. I always appreciate the poetry crowd because I'm just hiding behind this. I love to write poetry. I don't really do it too much because I focus on writing songs at the minute. But you're always very earnest, which I like. You know, you're not coming up after if I fucked up and you say, that was so good. You're being honest. Cool. This next tune is called No Longer. It's one of the first songs I think I've ever written. So, yeah, the last time I spoke to a poetry crowd, I asked them, do you think it's okay that I'm name dropping Spotify in this song? So I want you to keep your ears sharp and listen out for it. And you can come up to me later and say, Eve, this does work, or Eve, this does not work. I'll let you. Okay? Thank you. I deleted your town of my weather, so I no longer wake up and stare at it. I'm being so red. I no longer follow you on Spotify. That was the only time music was an alibi. I'm being so red. Now keep on erasing till it no longer fades. You're gradually fading like an old tattoo. I'm no longer waiting for things to work, and I'll keep on erasing till time shuts you down. I won't hold for the text, won't hold for the no longer you and no longer me. It's for the better. I don't allow myself myself to read what it wants, and I keep hiding you in my fucking notes. The shade fading, that's what they tell me. And I'm emphasizing that I'm still working through while you're out there tonight. Never wanted me, that's all I had to see. But I'm no longer waiting for things to work, and I'll keep on racing till time shuts you down. I won't hope for the text, won't hope for the letter. No longer you, and no longer me. It's for the better. The longer, the longer, the longer, the better, the better, the better. For the longer, the longer, the longer, I get better, I get better, I get better. For the longer, the longer, the longer, the better, the better, the better. For the longer, the longer, the longer, I get better, I get better. How much time do I have left? How much time? 10 minutes? Okay, cool. Yeah, cool.
Two songs in.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna do you want a song about Dun Leary, or do you want a song about all the people that have hurt me in one room? You can choose. One or two?
Dun Leary.
Oh, that's mixed. That's mixed. Okay, hold up. One or two? Two. Oh my god, that's very mixed.
Yeah, do them both.
Okay. There's a 5 going up in the back there. Okay, we'll do Dun Leary, okay, but I need to reach in. I'll tell you the story while I do that though. It's very hard to do that while I'm but I'm a professional, right? Okay, so the song about Dun Leary. I feel like I've been playing this for a long time, but basically when I came here for the first time and I moved over, you lot, and I mean Irish people with that, you can be incredibly charming. So I fell for this Irish guy, and he kind of showed me around Dublin, and he was a poet from Dun Leary, and yeah, he kind of showed me the whole city, so everywhere that I went, like, it reminded me of him. Basically, what he did then, he broke up with me by the Dun Leary Pier, which was very romantic of him. Thank you for that. But during the relationship, he had become vegetarian. For some reason, I'm vegetarian. He wanted to impress me, I reckon. So, yeah, he had become vegetarian for the whole duration of the relationship. And then when he broke up with me by the Dun Leary Pier, so I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, so I was done with it. And he had, like, do you know when you get that text, we need to talk? And he sent me that the night before. And then after the conversation, I was bawling, crying, and he walked me to the train station because I had to go back to Donbait. And he was stuffing his face with fish and chips. So I feel like that was him dominating the end of the relationship, and I couldn't recover from that. So I sat on that train home and I was bawling, crying. And then I wrote a song about it called Counter-Strike, and this is the song. And yeah, I'm gonna stop yapping. Yeah, Counter-Strike. Not sure if this is right now. Coastal town, I'm on a hunger strike. Eats and sleeps well, perfect kind of strike. So it's sunshine, and my moonshine away. I wish for something closer. Sweet, sweet, nothing like it used to be. I was loved so well until I wasn't. Yeah, I can take a lot of pain, I know. Still, I wish you would have told me this before. I wish you wouldn't run the city anymore. Your mother's candle starts up. We'd ask your brother, you know what he choose. He's an angel on earth, but now I've lost him too. Yeah, I can take a lot of pain, I know. So I wish you would have told me this before. I wish you wouldn't run the city anymore. This next tune, that's the only single from this set that I've played that is out on the streaming portals. It's called June Moon. It's about the same guy. What can I say? Yeah, it's about the natural forth of moving back and forth of moving on. I was in the phase of crying my heart out and then dating, like downloading dating apps to next, and I think that's the natural cycle that just happens. And yeah, it's called June Moon. Thank you. No, I need to do that, sorry. He was born in a June, but always of them. And my mama loved him. She found him soft spoken.
going for all things Eve, please. Thank you very much. Do you know what I love?
What you love?
I've seen you perform a few times, and I know there's a few people in the room that have never seen you before, and I love going, is I gonna get it now?
Oh, that's very nice.
Because I just love the reaction people get. You can see it, there's a few heads bobbing in the background, but just absolute silence when you were singing. You just,
That's
everyone
the
just
crowd
shuts up.
though. Yeah. It's the crowd being nice to me.
No, that's a drawn in crowd, that is. Really. I'd love to just ask, obviously with music and lyrics, and you write obviously poetry as well, there's a lot of depth to your music, but would the melody come first and the writing after, or the writing first and the melody after?
I think it goes along. It depends on the song really, but most of the time I have a concept of the topic that I want to write about, and then I need to sit down to write songs really. I can't really scribble. I can't turn poetry into songs. It's just not something that goes. They say poetry if I write them on the train or something. I still write, but they never turn into songs. So if I'm writing a song, I need to sit down with my guitar or my piano and just write it there and then. I can't do it the other way around. It's funny.
Yeah. And would you write with because you were saying notes app there, but would you write?
Yeah,
would you write on your notes app? Is that?
I do, yeah. Like little ideas, they will go there. But in poetry, it goes there all the time. Yeah, I don't know how it is for you. I know you have a book that you carry around all the time. Normally,
that's my show book. That's my show book. Yeah, what I do is I write in my phone because for me, my hand can't keep up with my brain, so I tend to scribble a lot.
Okay, yeah.
So with the phone, it tends to be I can write a lot faster.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then when I have which I forgot today, I've embarrassed myself now without having it's a lovely book. It was €8 in Easton's. It's very shiny. But what I do is I'd write the poem, and then I'd spend ages trying to write really nice handwriting of this poem to make it look like it just came out of my head onto the page. That show is.
That's how you gotta do it. Yeah, it's the same for me, to be honest. Yeah.
Also, just wondering, so that it's not a natural Kildare accent.
Oh, thank you.
It's a lovely Kildare accent. There's a bit of twang there from the continent.
From the continent. She's continental.
Continental. But German being your first language,
right.
would you? When you sit down to write, do you think in German to write in English, or is it just now you've been here so long?
I think it depends on, so in conversation it depends on who I'm talking to. Right now I'm thinking in English, yeah, but if I'm speaking to a German person now, that's obviously then it switches. And it started when I kind of moved here, like after half a year, where I just started thinking in English. So I think right now it's just coming to me in English. Also, all the poetry, all the music that I consume is mainly English. So I think that I tried to write in German, it's not working out. I sound like a 3-year-old trying to articulate how I'm feeling about my exes, but no, it's just not working. So that's part of the reason why I moved here, because people in Germany kept telling me, yeah, you have to write in German. I was like, I can't. Yeah.
Well, there is a wonderful band that I went to see in Berlin called Scorpions. I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
That have claimed success writing in English. And
yes.
that's obviously been a German band. Still putting music out in their late 70s, by the way. So I expect you to do the same.
If I'm old and lonely, I will, yes. I actually didn't know that they're German.
You didn't know?
I did not know that.
Well, look, you had to come to Ireland to figure out the
German band.
And would you dream in English?
I think so, yeah. Most of the time. Now, if my parents are involved, obviously that's German, because my parents' English is terrible. They try. No, we won't judge. They're old and 60 and long. They're not going to happen. I don't know what I'm yapping about.
Yeah, it's a safe space.
Yeah, it is. It feels like a safe space. I feel like that's why I'm comfortable yapping with you here.
You played Electric Picnic this year?
I did, yeah.
How did you find that?
I found it, it was also a poetry stage, so I found it nice to kind of go up in between and kind of, I find poetry very, it takes a lot of energy off the performers, I'd say. I'd say music is the same, but poetry for me, I tried it once at an open mic, and I was terrified. I nearly peed my pants. Because I can't hide behind this, and vocals, it's just another game.
Would you not just go on with your guitar and just not play?
That would be a bit sus, no?
You look at Chekhov's gun, you have to use the guitar.
It'd be like, yeah,
Just
this one.
roll it randomly and do poems.
Yeah, I actually, maybe I might. Yeah.
Well, I look forward to hearing your poetry eventually when you
Yes.
wear it up.
Thank you so much for having me. This is really nice.
Give it up for All Things In.
Thank you.
Now, we have more international acts. I'm just spinning because I like it. We have more international acts. We have, and the best thing, so when Ryan introduced Eve there, you know, the joys of having two people do this show is that you get to meet new acts that you wouldn't be familiar with yourself. So like this next act, I'm dying to see it perform. So you've travelled doing storytelling. That's what this is, a Q&A while she's still off stage. You're a storyteller that travels around doing storytelling and giving. Here, have a mic. On the spot.
On the spot. Yeah. Look, I'm based in Amsterdam.
Unreal.
So, but unreal.
Unreal.
And I tell stories. Ireland's better, I'll tell you.
You up the Ireland, but Amsterdam's cooler.
Cooler, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I like to tell stories.
Brilliant. Well, she's going to tell some lovely stories now. Let's give it up for Danny Cullen. Thank you very much.
How are we doing, guys?
Unreal,
lads. Are we alive? Yeah. So yeah, I like to tell stories, but I'm really interested in the old stories. I like folk tales, I like myths. So I'm not going to tell you a personal story this evening. We're gonna time travel. Wow, unreal. So I'm going to tell you some old stories. A long time ago in Ireland, before any of us here can remember, there was a king. And it's the end of the day, and he's feeling a little bit like you and I do sometimes. He's tired. He's been hunting all day, and now he's making his way back home. And as he leaves on his horse, he spots a deer. And he thinks, that's mine. So he chases after it, and he's galloping, he's going as fast as he can, but he's a little bit tired, you know, and the deer is going as faster, and he keeps going, and eventually the deer stops, and he can see it there hiding behind the trees. And our king, he gets off his horse, he takes his arrow, the last arrow he has his bow. This is his moment. And he shoots, but he misses. Because suddenly from behind the trees comes a man. It's a tall man, and he's dressed in black, and he's wearing this hat that almost covers all his face. And he has a dagger in one hand and a sword in the other. And he's looking at our king, and he says, well, how lucky it is for me to find you here, unarmed, utterly alone. You know, King, I tell you a little something. You did me a great wrong. You stole land from me. You took something that did not belong to you, and I'll take my revenge. And our king, you know, he's like, whoa. There's no honour in killing a man unarmed. Shame will only follow that. But you know, if you spare my life, I'll give you whatever you want. If you want more land, I'll give it to you. If you want gold, I'll give you plenty of gold. And our man, our stranger, he looks at the king and he says, you know what? I don't need your land. I don't need your gold. But I tell you what, I'm a generous man. So if you can answer my little riddle, I'll spare your life. And our king is thinking, he says, all right, well, what's your riddle? He says, okay, I'll give you a year and a day to find the answer to this riddle. And we'll meet back here, the exact same spot, And if you have the right answer, your life is spared. If not, I'll take your life. All right, so, says King, and our man looks and says, what do women want? And you know, King, well, he's a little cocky now because he's thinking, that's pretty easy. I don't need a year and a day. You know, I could do that in a week. You're on, he says. So King, he goes back to his palace and he meets Fergus. Now, Fergus is his best friend, his right-hand man, you know, his best warrior. And he tells Fergus all about the stranger that he met in the forest. He tells Fergus that he has a year and a day to answer this riddle. What do women want? And Fergus looks at King and says, all right, not a bother. I tell you what we do, we saddle our horses. I'll go in one direction, you go in the other. We'll go to every town, every county, every village. We'll search the whole country until we get that answer. So King, he goes this way. And every woman he meets, he asks her, sorry, madam, could I ask you, what do women want? Women want love. Women want love. And sorry, man, woman, could you tell me, what do women want? Humor. They want to laugh, yes. And he's asked, sorry, could you tell me, what do women want? Respect. Sorry, could you tell me, what do women want? Him to do the washing up. They're laughing, yeah. They want to be made to laugh. They want no wrinkles. They want a strong man. They want a younger man. And the list went on and on and on. But every woman he asked, she was certain that her answer was right. But not two answers were the same. Now Fergus, he went in this direction. And he was asking all the women, but he knew he didn't have the right answer. So he was getting desperate. He was asking the fellas. Sorry, sir, could you tell me, do you know what women want?
A good night's sleep.
A good night's sleep. And sorry, sir, could you tell me, what do women want? More. We want more. Yeah. Sorry, sir, could you tell me, what do women want? Having a clue. You still learn. Do you know what women want? To be right. And this went on and on and on. But Fergus himself, he knew he didn't have the right answer. Now days, weeks, months pass. And they still hadn't got the right answer. 1 year. And they're back at the palace, and our king, well, I tell you, he's a little bit broken. He's afraid, to be honest, because he knows his life is about to end. So he goes out for a walk, clear the head, you know. And he walks and he walks and he walks, and he comes to this little well. And he sees there sitting on the well is this old woman. And she's, well, what we would call ugly. You know, her body is bent and crippled, and her eyes, you know, one eye is looking at you, the other's looking for you, and she's got a beard going on and wrinkles on her neck, and she's got these huge hanging breasts down to her ankles. And she's smoking away. You're allowed to smoke in stores. She's smoking away, and she sees our king, and she says, King, heard about your little riddle. You have many answers, but none of them are the right one. I have the right one. Well, you know, would you be kind enough to tell me? My king, knowledge comes at a price. What will you give me if I give you the right answer? And King is like, well, you know, he's desperate. Well, whatever you want. I want to marry one of your fine warriors. I want you to swear to me, if I give you the right answer, I can marry one of your men. And I mean, what else was he supposed to do? All right. And she whispered into his ear, and our king, he smiled. He smiled because he knew that she had given him the right answer. And he turned to her and he asked her, what's your name? Moira. They call me Moira. Now, next day, King goes back to the forest. And he's back in that exact same spot where he met that man, that tall man dressed in black. And sure enough, there he is, standing right there. Dagger in one hand, sword in the other. Well, have you got the answer? And our king, he looks at our man and he says, yeah. What women want most is sovereignty. They want to be able to make their own choices. They want to decide. Son of a bitch. You spoke to the witch at the well. And he's hissing and he's spitting. But what can he do? Because sure enough, he gave the right answer. Now our king, he's delighted with himself, you know. His life is spared. But now he has to go back home and let his men know. Someone's got to marry Moira. So all the warriors, they're all sitting around that round table. And King is standing there and he says, all right, lads, I need one of you to marry Moira. Now, Ireland's bravest warriors were sitting around that table. And not one of them could look at him in the eye. Fergus eventually stood up and said, you know what? I'll do it. I'll marry her. Because, you know, that's what your mates did for you back then. So, Fergus wanted a quiet little wedding. But not Moira. You know, she wanted a party. She wanted everybody to know. Everybody was invited and, you know, there was a big feast. But no one really had an appetite. And there was lots of music, but nobody really felt like dancing. And everybody, to be honest, they were in mourning. They were in mourning for our man, Fergus. Because they're looking at Moira. And, you know, she's having a great time. She's eating and she's drinking and she's, you know when people make that sound? Drives me mad. You know, Moira, she's stuffing her face and she's having the crack. And after some time, she turns to Fergus and says, I'd like to go to bed now, Fergus. All right. So Fergus and Moira, they head up to the bridal suite, and Moira, she lies down on the bed, you know, and our man Fergus, he's getting ready. You know, and he hears her, he hears Moira, you know. I'm waiting, Fergus. And Fergus turns around and he can't believe it. Because on the bed is this young woman. And she's got these long, dark curls, rosy cheeks, and her breasts. Epic. Her nipples. Epic. And Fergus is thinking to himself, I didn't have that much to drink. And no, she explains to Fergus, you know, you see, Fergus, I've been put under a curse and it could only be broken by a strong, brave warrior. And Fergus can't believe his luck. And they spend the night and they're making love. Next morning, sun is rising. And Moira turns to Fergus and she says, there's something else I need to tell you. You see, Fergus, this beauty, it won't last. You have to choose. You can have me beautiful by day, or foul by night, or foul by day and beautiful by night. And Fergus, he's thinking to himself, what do I do? You know, if she's beautiful by day, well, the whole world will admire him. But if she's foul by day, everybody will laugh and they'll mock him, and he didn't know what to do. What would you do?
Ask her what she wants.
Ask her what she wants. He's a good man. He's a keeper. Our Fergus, he looked at Moira and he says, you know what, Moira? You decide. Go on, Fergus. The spell was broken. I will be beautiful by day and by night. And they lived happily ever after. So it was funny because I I told that story to my dad, and I asked my dad, I said, you know, what would you say? And Dad says, you know, well, I work all day, so she'd have to be beautiful by night. And afterwards I said, Dad, he lets her choose. And he says, Jesus, I didn't even think of that.
We'll have a chat, Danny.
Brilliant.
Round of applause, Danny Cullen, please.
Oh, Danny, thank you for that. Oh, that was fucking brilliant. I love that. Tell me, right, Danny. So, when did the talent of telling these stories come about? Like, when did you? You must be great at laughters, you. Oh my God! After the pub at 2 a.m, you taking over the living room. Like, that must be amazing. But when did you kind of think, hang on, there's something in this?
No, I think I just like to tell stories.
Yeah.
No, so I always told stories, and I loved reading old stories because I don't know. People always say, you know, folk tales, they're actually all personal stories as well. Because, you know, there's always something in it that you go, wow, I've been there, or like, I'm not so different to those, you know. And for me, I always said, like, I'd listen to a story and I felt like it was medicine in the way, like, it just gave me so much, you know. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, I think stories save people.
Yeah,
I do believe that. Like,
Yeah.
stories do save people. And you must feel like the energy in the room as you tell that story. We know we're leaving this feeling better. It must be weird, like, because like when you construct a story like that, you must not think that people are going to leave going, like, I'm going to leave here going, I feel amazing. But the story's ridiculous. It shouldn't make me feel amazing.
Yeah.
But there's something that's triggered the heart, the mind, the kind of imagination. Is it the beauty of seeing something more than just like bricks and mortar? Is that what it is, you think?
Yeah, or like, I don't know, I always feel like we live in a world now where like everybody's on their phones, no, and sometimes we've kind of stopped talking to each other.
Yeah.
No, or like it's a little bit like this. So there's, yeah, like it's, as you said, you feel amazing because it's like with a story, you kind of access your imagination, and always what you imagine, it's so better than what you'd see, you know?
Yeah.
So I think stories do that for you.
And did you have to leave the country to find the kind of passion of storytelling? Like, because you don't live in Ireland, right? You live in the Netherlands. So
Yeah. So actually, I always did theatre, but actually in Amsterdam they have a huge storytelling scene, really big, and they actually have like every night they have a storytelling night on, and it can be personal stories, folk tales, and they actually have like a school for storytelling. And it was funny because when I said to my dad, I'm going to go to school for storytelling, he was like, go down the pub, listen to Mick, you don't need school for that, you know. And he's like, how much is storytelling school? 2 grand, they're ripping you off. You know.
Did Aoife meet you there? Did Aoife go to
Yes,
the storytelling
yeah.
school?
So
fair.
it's a big thing, you know, and it's funny because when you're over there, people are like, oh, the Irish, they're born storytellers, you know. So they're always like, oh yeah, Irish people, you know. So it's yeah. So it's nice because they're like, wow, people from Ireland, they know all the stories.
But there's like, I think what's beautiful now, definitely in Dublin, there is a culture of storytelling, guys like chonky, and I've done the Dublin Story Slam as well, and it's like, it's beautiful. Like, if people are paying 40 quid to sit there, and it's amazing. It's really
I think
brilliant.
it's coming back now a lot, you know. And even like when you explain to people like, oh, I'm doing storytelling, they're like, do you just sit around and listen to stories? And you're like, yeah. Are you sober? You know, I'm like, yeah. And it's, as you said, I think, you know, we people are loving it now, or it's, you know, a little bit raw. It's nice. It's
amazing. Danny, thank you so much.
Thank you,
that
guys.
Was amazing.
Yeah.
Round of applause, Danny, come please. We were asking everybody earlier on to write us some bad poetry. Leon, why don't you come and join me in silence? So we've got copies of an anthology at the back of the room. So like we put it together like a year ago. If anyone wants a copy, they're going for how much? A tenner.
A tenner.
A tenner. If you want a copy, they're a tenner at the back.
2 fivers will do.
But the it's interesting with this prompt, right? So every time we do an event now, we ask people to write bad poems, and there's a bit of a trick because, you know, if you write one, well done, all right, you write a bad poem, but if you fail, you write an amazing poem by accident. How goes that as a trick?
It's a trap.
So what we're going to do, right, we're going to split these up and read them out, but we're going to read the first couple of letters of the words of the poem. If you'd like to come up and read it yourself, we'd actually love you to do that. So we're not going to read it all out. I'll give you a little taster. If it's yours, please don't feel obliged. Obviously, you don't need to, but please do. And the best worst poem, we're going to publish it in the book. There's a second volume that's out in December.
Volume 2 is
Yeah. So we'll be in touch and you'll be a published poet. So that's fucking great, isn't it? Write a shy poem and then you end up being published. That's good, isn't it? So let's split up. Now, I don't need to feel pressure to come up, but we loved it. We're sick of talking, do you know what I mean? So do you want half and I'll take it off? Is that off?
I would say so.
Right, so
I'll read out the first line. There once was a penny rolling.
anyone want to own up to that?
Anyone there? No? Okay, it's anonymous.
Okay.
I'll continue so. There once was a penny rolling downhill, followed by a bucket, a shovel, and a wheel. They belonged to a woman, fragile and old. Rubbish she was never meant to keep.
Fucking hell. That's fucking horrible. Fuck's sake. Round of applause, please. Put that in the good bad one, yeah? Right, bring me a bad poem. Anyone? Come on. Bring me a bad poem. Who wrote that? Sir, do you want to join this? Ah, go on, my man. You're a good man yourself. What's your name, fella? Martin.
Give it up for Martin.
Give us mine.
It's an acrostic poetry. It's bad poem on the side.
Right.
Bring me a bad poem. Any old bad poem. Do your worst. Please make it crummy. Oh, so not funny. Everyone will hate you, Martin.
Thank you, Martin. That's class. I was unreal. Right. I love that one. That's going there.
Right, I have one here. Starts off, what? Anyone?
Yeah, come on.
Johnny,
You'd love to. You can tell in your eyes.
Come on.
Come on. You good?
What?
I'll bring your glass. Yeah, bring your glass. Grant.
What's your name, sorry? Lorraine. Give it up for Lorraine.
What a bad poem. Why not? But then again, sitting, waiting, looking, listening, not sure if this is it, is a bad, maybe, poem. Lads.
Give it up for Lorraine.
See how Look at that's mental. Oh, that's great.
Don't be calling pounds.
Well done, Laurent. Well done, well done.
Okay, here. Do you want to read one?
Do you want to?
Okay. There were two tired mas.
Front row, I'd say that's probably coming from the front row.
Do you want to read?
Yeah, do you want to read?
Do you want to read?
Go on.
What's your name, sir? Give us it.
There were two tired mas who got a night's hall pass. They came to the culture night, got a terrible fright when they couldn't get a pint of bass.
Yes, that was Sarah. Good, Sarah. Right, Steph, to be or not to be? Is there a Steph?
Steph might have left.
Steph might have. All right. Do you want to read that?
To be or not to be, I choose to be Jenny. Going every day to the same bus stop, same time, same 2 minutes after, sometimes 10. Arriving to me same desk, using computers, until the night comes. Wait, thinking about it, I choose to be Jenny from the block. Give it up for Jenny.
Well done. Cecilia, 4 friends in the Monto. Cecilia, you want to come on? I get to.
Get up, I see it.
Four friends in the Monto. One is wearing a poncho. The other one wants to eat pronto. The couple met in Toronto. The other couple will get married pronto.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Jeez, you're all very talented, eh?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that was great.
Read now, now.
This is from Anonymous. I will I read it? Yeah, I'll read it out. The weather is shit. My dad is dead. I try listening to my husband, but he's wrecking my head. I come here anyway. I hope to find a shift in mood, or at least feel part of mankind. Amazing, Anonymous. Thank you very much. That's cheating. That's an amazing poem. That's fantastic.
I have 2 haikus. Who's writing haikus? Who's Japanese samurai warrior walking around writing haikus? The samurai might have left. Okay, I'll read it. This is called Trees Haiku. How do you like? Trees. I'll restart again. Like, what the hell? Underground and above it. You confuse me, man.
Confuse me, man.
Another one. Jesus, warble down the beach, blubbering like a fool. Alas, sweet walrus.
Very good, well done.
For the haikus.
This one starts with the word 12. Any takers? Okay, fine.
He loves it.
12 bottles fall. Where is the wall without them? That's fucking smart. Whoever did that was fucking
That's very good.
Where is the wall without them?
Very good.
Sorry, that's going in the good one.
We have one final poem written by a man called Deadly Donald. Would Deadly Donald like to come to the stage and close our show?
Oh, go on, Deadly Donald.
Ryan and Joelle welcomed me in. One look at them, I needed a gin. The challenge to write a poem now from this pen has come not a silk purse, but a sow.
Thank you, God, well done.
That was legal.
Well, will we consult the secret poet in the room that hasn't revealed themselves today? Mr. James Mooney.
James Mooney.
Should we ask James Mooney? The wandering paddy. Should we ask James?
You can ask him on the show.
Should ask him. Well, how are we going to decide who's the winner? We need to nominate a.
Right now, we can get a judge. Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa.
I would like the anonymous one to win.
The anonymous one to win.
The anonymous one's winning.
Yeah, we might have to get some initials maybe or a pen name. The anonymous one? Yeah. Are we all agreeing on the anonymous one?
Yeah, give a round of applause.
We'll get some initials or a pen name. Congratulations, anonymous person, whoever you are.
whoever you are, come and chat to us later on. This has been beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's been very emotional.
Yeah.
It's been lovely.
Do you want to wrap the night up with a poem? Give us a chicken fillet roll poem and then we'll go.
Okay. Just to let you know again, 2 fivers or a tenner down the back of the room for one of these. I'll do a poem about Ireland's national dish before they throw us all out of here. Right, this is a poem about Ireland's national dish. Has anyone here ever had bacon and cabbage?
Woo.
Very limp there. Anyone here ever had beef and Guinness pie?
Woo.
Yeah, alright, that's still. Anyone here had a chicken fillet roll?
Yeah.
Much more positive. Anyone here had a chicken fillet roll? Yeah. Oh, he power walk into that deli, stomach rumbling, willpower crumb the sight of the hot food on display, butter or mayo. I reply, both. Eyeing up those chicken breasts with a lump in my throat, plain southern fried or spicy, sweating for the decent piece, I say. Spicy, very nicely, see. For those who are uneducated in the makings of a good roll, there's an etiquette to follow before you even swallow that first piece. You need to have confidence. And for all the lads in the room, size matters. I'm sure you know, because if you get a cream-made little piece, then your whole roll experience is fucked. So be polite and ask with a smile when that stressed out deli worker asks what you desire as the queue stretches a mile back to the Stone Age. You want to get there at the right time when things are just being pulled out of the oven and this cuisine de France is still sliced with a bit of love, and not 5 p.m. and they're wrapping up and you're still standing stuck there like a sap, no rolls left, only wheat wraps. A bit of roughage with a burnt chicken's eyebrow slapped into it. And how do you take yours? Butter, mayo, red onion and cheese. Little bit of lettuce for the health there, please, to ease me into believing this little gluten-cased gem is better for me than a salad. Location is important. I cannot stress this more. You can tell you're in a good spot when you walk in the door and there's a young one there who looks like she baked the head off you, never looks at you once and said, takes this chance to talk to her mate in between the occasional, what you want? Then, pal, your quest is complete. Because you are in top tier roll country and you never beat the quality, finesse, sophistication of what's coming next. Usually located in a sparse centre or mace that's about 100 paces from the Plex or Dole office or the Tesco near the post office, or if you're feeling bougie, maybe Dunn's or 100 chicken fillets roll off that culinary conveyor belt of pure joy. Another key indicator to think of later is the cutting technique. You don't want to pay premium price for the simple slice job, no pal, you want a nice job like they're doing that chopped place, dice shit into a different space. Ooh. Cut in half. Oh, maybe you know it. Saw me in the separates and throw me down that red lane. And I promise to never complain or ask, have you got a vegetarian option? Sorry. Cause falafel on a roll is just bleeding rotten. Thank you very much. Give it up for Ryan Dubbins. Give it up for all our acts. Give it up for me. Give it up for Leslie. Give it up for yourselves. You're Elvis. See you later. Thank you very much. You're all free to go.